What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. Today we're going to be taking a look at my EDC backpack, the Vertx Commuter Sling. Now, I've reviewed this bag on my channel before, but the setup has changed considerably. And it's kind of in line with how my training has improved. So I'm carrying more medical gear. I think I found a really intelligent way of maximizing the Vertx Commuter Sling as an EDC backpack whilst making it cater to my medical needs as well as to my everyday carry needs. Now, the setup you're going to see today is this bag packed to the max. I don't ordinarily pack it this full. Anything that's not Velcroed down or molly-webbed generally comes out of the bag randomly. It depends on my mission for the day. Okay, a lot of people think your backpack needs to be the same every single day. That's not true. Your EDC can change as long as it maintains certain core values, and it depends on, like I say, in inverted commas, your mission for that day. Guys, before we get into the tabletop, we're going to switch the camera in a second. I just want to remind you, if you have any issues with getting your firearm license in South Africa, chat to the guys at www.gunlicense.co.za. They are here to help you, and they will help you from start to finish. If you use code EDC when you purchase any of the services, you'll get 200 Rand off any of the next purchases that you use them for. And then a reminder that next week we are at Para Arms. I'm going to show you some cool footage of that. Those of you following me on Instagram have already seen that of the Streamlight TLR7A testing. That review is up next week. Let's switch the view and take a look at the backpack. Okay, guys, so as mentioned, the bag is the Vertx Commuter Sling, the original. And like I said earlier, this is going to be the bag in its most full configuration. I'll very rarely carry this much gear to where this bag expands this much, but I just wanted to show you what it is capable of carrying. Now, the gear inside here is all gear that I would at some point carry, but very rarely am I carrying all this gear. First off, on the outside, I have my Wiley X Valors. The bag has like this loop type deal on both sides, and so when I'm not wearing them and I'm at home, then I will just loop my Wiley X Valors through there so that when I do go out, I know exactly where they are. So Wiley X Valors, that's from Mavs Gear, very cool pair of shades. Okay, on to the first pocket. Now, most people use this as a medical pocket. It's got a cool loop here that you would just basically pull and it completely opens that. Now, it is kind of medical, but not trauma medical, more first aid medical. So at the bottom, we have a pen. This is the O Pen 2 from Olight. So obviously, for simple reasons, having a pen is always handy. I'm going to get into this Helicon pouch in a second. Some of you may recognize this pouch from a video I did a few weeks ago. This is not the same pouch. This is the other pouch. I like this pouch so much. My review of this pouch is popping up in the screen, by the way. I like this pouch so much, I went and bought myself another one. That is from Cerberus Tactical Outfitters. Okay, so this is a charging cable. Now, the cool part of this charging cable, I'll just take it out for you and show you, is that the head is sort of just this magnetized bit. And what happens is a lot of people don't realize they can do this. I've got this D Tactical gear patch, and underneath that gear patch, I have all the bits that go onto this magnetic charging cable. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is more than likely for your iPhone, iPad type deal. It just connects to that like so, and you can charge whatever device that this connects to. And it's got all of the most popular types of connecting cables. So I just have that stuck underneath a D-Tactical gear patch, and I also have a spare mobile SIM card with some emergency airtime on it. There's no data on that card, it's just the ability to make phone calls. So that is there, and then over here we have a set of hand cups. Hand cups are basically these wrist restraints that you can wear. I always keep a pair in a backpack and a set around my wrist. These basically serve the purpose of handcuffs, and they're made out of really strong, I believe it's nylon, that is wrapped so that you can restrain someone if needed. Side note, don't restrain people against their will unless it is lawful or you will get into trouble. Okay, just want to slide, I'll slide this back at a later stage. And then here we have basically just a small dressing, and then we have some plasters and some alcohol pads. That's just in case you have a small injury that just requires a quick fixer-upper. Nothing too major, and then these things are basically like sort of readily available. I always like to sort of wipe down any injuries or cuts or scrapes with an alcohol pad just to make sure it is as clean as possible. So inside this pouch, again, this is still not trauma medical, this is more first aid medical. We have a whole host of various tablets. We have Medlemon, which is flu medication. We have some Eno, which is for stomach issues. We have Adcodol tablets. I'm an extremely headachy kind of person. Flossers, for obvious reasons. And then these two things, super underrated, but I've said it a million times. If you get a splint in your hand and you're going somewhere, it is an absolute nightmare. I know that from personal experience. That is why I always carry a nail clipper and a tweezer as part of my sort of backpack gear. I don't carry it on my person because I think that's just a bit weird. But always in one of my packs, you'll find a nail clipper and a set of tweezers. So that's that. And then on this side, we have more, well, we have your burn shield. We have betadine, depending on how you pronounce it. That is for cut scrapes. We have more alcohol pads, and we have a whole lot of plasters or band-aids, depending on where you're from. So this is just basically your first aid issues. Nothing life-threatening, nothing major trauma-related. And that is how I have this front section kitted out. So, also one other thing, if you have personal documents, this section opens up and you can slide them in there. It's like a hidden section. So like if you want to carry like your ID or large amounts of money, whatever the case may be, you can do so and just hide it in that section and no one will see it because that closes like that. Okay, let's get this closed up. I got a feeling I hooked that underneath. I did. Okay. And this also velcros in the top here. Cool. Okay, so now to the medical section. Now you'll see this section has a carabiner. It is the only carabiner on here, and it's the only orange thing on here. I have this rule, or this thing I do where the most important piece of a backpack will have like a random item like this on it so that I can identify it easily, and other people can identify it easily if I give them vocal commands. So the organized chaos that is my medical section, actually it's just organized, but it looks like chaos. Okay, let's go through this. So let's go from the left. We have a staged tourniquet. This is the combat application tourniquet, as well as a pair of trauma shears. This is the ones from Deployed Concepts. So we have those in there, and what you'll find is on the opposite end, these are all Velcro down, by the way, guys. This whole section is like a Velcro panel. On the opposite end, we have a recon medical tourniquet and a set of trauma shears. Now, if needed, I could just rip this off and chuck it to someone who needs it, or use it myself. And I could do the same thing with this one on this side. By the way, this cool case, you can get that from CHS Guns. I just put Velcro on mine so it Velcros to this panel. So the same thing on either end. Whether I'm using my left hand or my right hand, or whether I'm in a super panic, if I grab this, I'm grabbing the same thing. Someone might need trauma shears and the tourniquet, someone might need tourniquet, someone might need trauma shears. I grab this, I chuck it to them, or I use it. It is the same thing. Okay, in the center, also moving towards the center, emergency bandage, Salox. Emergency bandage, Israeli bandage, it's the same thing. Salox is a hemostatic agent. Hemo, blood, static, stops arterial bleeds within 60 seconds or less. The middle section, another emergency bandage or Israeli bandage, and a Recon Medical emergency blanket. People can become hypothermic due to massive blood loss, so having an emergency blanket is really, really important. And then right here we have some packing gauze, some wound packing. This is not hemostatic, but this is just for sort of packing and applying pressure. Then right here we have an O-light. This is the O-light parent mini. The reason I like this is I can wear this pack, sling it around to the front, put the light on, and it provides light in my general direction. Alternatively, I can pull it off and slide it onto the peak of my cap or put it down, or whatever the case may be. I really like this light because of the angle of the head. So if I put it on the floor, it's going to cast light. If I kept it in my backpack, it's going to cast light. Even if I did something like just slid it into one of these pockets and put it on, it's going to cast light in a forwardly direction. Alternatively, if I wanted to, I could rip this whole thing off and wear it as a headband, and then it would basically shine light directly in front of me. So I quite like that. This top section, so this is massive blood loss, hemorrhaging. This front section caters for that. The rear section caters for more airway and breathing. So what we have in this pocket is 2 hyphen vented chest seals, as well as some more Z-fold dressing. We have in this pocket right here a needle decompression kit and flutter valve that is for your collapsing lung issues. We have a NPA for blocked airways, an inhaler. I am asthmatic, so that's why that's there. So that's all for pretty much breathing related issues. Let's just get everything back in, and I'll basically show you how I put everything back in as well. I try to keep this pack as sort of packed the same way every single time I pack it, so I will never forget where anything is. And then the O-light, I basically just take this and tuck it in here so it doesn't sort of flail about. And then this is a Velcro O-light patch that you can either stick to a gear patch on your cap or just stick around your head with a headband, and there you go. Then right here, I'll just move these two out of the way. We have a Sharpie to write things down. We have the O-light i3T, little AAA flashlight, because it's the only flashlight that can fit in that pocket. And we have some hand sanitizer. Okay, so this section sort of deals with your March algorithm. Your M for massive hemorrhage, A for airway, R for respiratory, C for circulation, and H for head injury, hypothermia. Now we can't deal with all of those factors with this setup, but you fight the battles you can win, right? So like I said, this is my medical setup, and these are the things. So of that March algorithm, I would use these to combat as many of those things as possible. And if you can do that, it is proven that you would be able to save some lives. Well, potentially, hopefully, that's the plan. Okay, the zips on this bag are really good because this thing is packed to the brim. Now this section here is sort of my utility section. This section is very rarely this full, but for the purposes of this video, I filled it up. So that pocket's open. So this is a really cool book. Highly recommend it. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. Check it out. It's a cool book. I think it's definitely worthwhile reading. In this pouch here, which for some other reason is open, a external hard drive for obvious reasons, and then my laptop, a full-size 15.6-inch laptop. Let's just get that out of the way. And then we've got another pouch here. This is actually the pouch from the folks over at Bravo Tactical Africa, which I've repurposed. So this is a external battery, one of those battery power bank type deals, always good to have. Inside here are the cables for my phone and said power bank. This is redundancy, right? This is an add-on to what is in the front of my bag, depending on what my mission is for that day. If I'm going to be away for a while, I'll take this. If I'm not going to be away for a while, then I won't take this. So this is just basically a backup. If I know I'm just going somewhere for a short period, I'll take this out of my bag. And then inside here, we have a notepad, and then Bravo Tactical Gear Patch. Underneath that Bravo Tactical Gear Patch is a really cool flash drive. It's basically a 32 gig, right? But what's cool is it's USB, micro USB on the one side and your normal USB on the other side. And that's just tucked in behind there. And then a pen under the blades and triggers gear patch. If I'm going to be going somewhere where I want to smoke a cigar, I'll have a cigar with me, a lighter, a cigar V cutter, and this is your cigar straight cutter. I do enjoy cigars from time to time, and if I, like I said, if I do know that I will be going somewhere that will permit me to enjoy a cigar, then I will take a cigar. This is a Fundikono Training Consultants buff mask, whichever you want to use call it. This is a spare, it's not going to focus, I'll just put my hand there. This is a spare mobile router. I have two. So if I know I'm going to be somewhere where there isn't power, I'll charge this battery and I'll charge this battery, and then I'll just switch it over. If I have time, switch the SIM over, so I always have lots of data available to me. I do also find that mobile routers tend to have stronger data coverages than just your normal cell phone reception. I don't know why. I'm very social media orientated, like us. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel, so having lots of data available to me is important. So that is that. And then inside here is where I would keep my mouse. I like this mouse because of that. Then it turns into a normal mouse. So it's easy to carry along. And then my laptop's charging cables and things. I actually do keep them like this, guys. This isn't just for the video. When I pack them away, I roll them up like this. I'm OCD about cables. So, yeah. One other thing I just wanted to point out before we get into the last section is, check how cool this is. Have you guys seen this? This is a space poncho, like a space blanket, but it's a space poncho. So under normal circumstances, right, full disclosure, this pack will normally have, let's just put that over there, at maximum, the things you've seen. This section here kind of stays the same, but it will more than likely just be that and maybe a notebook that I'll have like that. So the pack is actually generally much smaller. You will notice that I zip this zip to the top and this zip to the bottom, so that I know where this is at all times. That's on purpose. It's not done so by mistake. And then in the back, so we've got this little pull tab. We all know the deal about these Vertx bags. This is the concealed carry compartment. I have in a Southwest holster my Glock 19 with all its accessories and all the fun stuff, and a spare mag. So I have shown videos about how I draw my firearm from this little concealed carry compartment, but I will show it next week when I do the review of the Streamlight TL-R7A. I'll make sure to slide in a piece of how accessible your firearm is from this part of the backpack. And that is my Vertx Commuter Sling backpack. Guys, just one thing I want to remind you of. This panel over here, there is a panel at the back here that opens in my laptop compartment. You can slide body armor or private documents in there. Similarly, in the rear compartment, this panel opens, so you can also slide body armor or whatever you want into there. So guys, that is my Vertx Commuter Sling. Like I said, generally it's not packed this full, but I did want to show you that you can get quite a bit of gear into this pack. And it's quite comfortable for the sling bag, right? It sits quite tight onto your back. So your back and, shall I say, your waist, your lower back supports the weight quite nicely. So it doesn't really tire out your shoulder, which is really nice. Guys, as I said, next week we are on at Para Arms for the review of my Streamlab TR7A. Those of you following me on Instagram, Facebook, have already seen some of the B-roll. I've been putting that light through with spaces. So huge thanks to those guys. A huge thanks to the guys at gunlasses.co.za. That is it, guys. Have a good week. I'll probably see you in the week for a mail time. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.